Okay, how's everybody doing? It's been a hot minute. It's haven't played for a few days, so I thought why not play now? The tables are a little slow, so I guess it's back to 100 fast forward. But that's what you can expect at this time of the day. So we'll play 100 fast forward. Um, and see how it goes. This is what you want. You want pocket aces on table, one of your tables straight away. And you also want to get a walk because getting that dead money is worth a lot. This hand I don't want to fall back. I want to be out of position with this hand in this cut off versus hijack. I think I just open this generally as a default. A suited jack on the button. In a pool where generally the big blind is under 3-betting, which allows you to open slightly wider. And here we have a recreational player. It's always nice to see. Don't always get them in zoom pools. And we have a bad gut shot. If this guy doesn't bet, there's a possibility to just start bluffing. This guy, I think what I'll do is I'll double delay and then bluff. It does make sense to me to check my hands here. When if this guy doesn't bet, he's generally quite capped. He's tanking, and we're just gonna fold here. 78. I would be willing to bet this guy has twos, or like ace 8 or something. Obviously folding here, but we're going to see the recreational player. We open king 10, fold a 3-bet. Make a note. And actually raised the river with the ace, telling me that my bluff would not have worked. Very interesting. He didn't have deuces though, so I was wrong about that. I wonder what he folded, or if he was just bluffing. Jack 10, using this GTO 2.3 exercise isn't kind of pointless because of the fish on the button, it's calling too wide. Defend the king 3. Here I'm gonna half pot flop, I guess, with range. Against pot I'm gonna fold. Checks to me, I'm gonna bet this hand, use this half pot sizing. Generally I bet certain value hands of this being one of the hands in my value range. I'm going to keep going for 2/3 on the turn. Here it's a very connected board. He just doesn't have 10-8 though, so I'm going to keep betting for this size. I guess I'll check here. This obviously is quite a good board for him though. So I think there's nothing wrong with checking and just taking showdown value. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to fold. There's a small temptation. Here we've been called twice. I think my sizing on the straight complete river, I just think I can go big here. He's probably folding the turn quite a lot. Definitely betting the river for value. I'm going to just use block, I guess. This one I use generally 50-70. My value range is still going to have top pair in here generally. But like when I do bet the turn, I'm kind of repping like my 8x bluffs. So 8x of hearts, kind of things. And just random like I don't know, jack 8s of diamond, just random stuff that just bets the flop, and then obviously 3x and deuces and stuff like that. And then on the river, I guess I would want to have two sizes. Obviously, some of my bluffs get there with like 5-4 and stuff. Oh yeah, I can also value bet like pocket 7s here as well. I think if I had 2/3, but I'd probably Want to have like a 60% sizing on the river. And I just went 120% because you tend to get a little bit more business with that for that size. But yeah, Queen 4 I guess we would call. We'd want to, in theory you'd want to raise his hand sometimes I guess, but to me calling just seems the most sensible play. Seems like a pretty good bluff in hand, but it wouldn't really be a triple barrel bluff. So we kind of just want him to like fold 8x kind of stuff, put him in a tough spot with Queen X type hands. I mean I have the top pair. He's 25.90 on this like straight closing turn is very suspicious, but I just don't fold top pair at this point. Yeah, it's kind of interesting if he bluffs the river. I mean, check this one down. Again, I feel like his size here should be... I mean, you can have this kind of size, but you really condense your value range. Because I feel like for this size, he just doesn't want to bet one pair hands. So he's just basically saying it's 2 pair plus at this point. So I feel like you'd want to like use a 70%, 60% sizing to still like value bet. You know, ace queen and stuff like that, king queen. Although maybe you'd probably lean more towards betting queen 9 over those hands, but what do I know? I mean, also a 1/3 size would make sense here. So like this is kind of like a weird size. Like I almost want to make a note. These I'm gonna free bet recreational. It's like queen. I can't remember the board. I guess I could bet. I just bet this. I could bet small too. I'll just check back as well. Queen 10 8 7 jack. It's probably not a good one. I should probably just put the hand down so I know that he gives up with showdown value. Excuse me. Ooh, opens. Steely the blinds. That's the plan. Recreational in blind. I'm thinking I'd rather just cold call. Like this hand. It just seems like it's going to be higher EV. Whilst in the free bet part, this is like... There's like a plus EV free bet, but like even just being in a pot with a recreational player with this kind of hand just seems good to me. Again, shouldn't be betting a huge amount multi-way. Although this is kind of weird that he bets multi-way. He just like sometimes airball. I think with open ender, I think I'm gonna fly it. Yeah, there's a recreational player, so I probably should have started bluffing on the turn. Okay, we do make us straight, but it's not the straight I want to make. I will fold the turn. I'm guessing this guy just has like ace of clubs, king of clubs. Here would have been auto call with any pair on the river to like any size, and that was below pot realistically. It's 7 straight flush here. I guess his multi-way strategy. Damn, he gave up. He gave up. He just fucking airballing it. What the heck? Multi-way? What? He just airballed. What the heck is that? That is a very interesting. I don't know. Mix this as raise. Just gonna call. Um, Here the nuts. He's gone 75-75 with the nuts. Yeah, cool, I guess. 33, 100, 200. I mean, this bluff is also quite interesting. I just open this, I guess. Make some notes. This guy cold calls. Come to think of it, if this guy is a recreational player, should we really be opening this hand when there's cold calls? I suppose if he's going to cold call a bunch of like king deuce suited and stuff, it's not the worst in the world, but it's not the best. So yeah. Now see this line, this guy like 75-75 with nuts. 75 flop, and then he's 33 100 200 with a bluff. So like it looks like this is 2 Broadway, 1 Broadway 2, which doesn't make sense to you, but makes sense to me. 1 Broadway 2, basically 1 Broadway with a straight, I guess. These are my own terms for stuff. So like this line to me is just, it's just very like, it just seems to be like one of these people who just sizes up when he has a value hand, which is gonna be noted. Good thing we didn't raise a flop. I wonder if he'd have continued. I mean, he's supposed to float in theory with 2 overs in the back door if it's a small raise, but yeah, I wonder if he does float. 9-5 deuce, jack 4. That makes sense to me. So yeah, just he's so bet 30s, 9-5 deuce, bet 75s, 2 Broadway. It makes sense. So he uses a 100 sizing on this, so basically he's just basically repping flushes, maybe like a set or something, and then the river 200% is like basically exclusively flushes, like only flushes. So we call and we can dominate, you know, some value hands. I mean, it's also going to be a spot that's generally people are going to bluff a lot. Like there's going to be like tons of ace of clubs in this spot, so like to fold a flush here would be ludicrous. It's obviously not a hard decision to make, but I just got to absolutely airballed it multi-way. I can't remember if it was at which table it was, but like that was like a surprising hand. He just completely airballs it. Like, what the heck? I don't understand. This play just doesn't seem like it's plus EV. The fact that he bluffed this complete air into 2 people as well is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. I could have seen what this guy played too. The King 7. No, he didn't get to showdown. Here's his poker. You fold until you get a good hand, and then you 3-bet. this guy. King's a bit loose. We're just gonna go for like value here. So I'm gonna use a big bet. Maybe even jam the turn. 10x a lot. Don't think his turn jam is bad at all. Our flop jam is bad at all. Yeah, we're just gonna go big and jam the turn probably. Generally this play by him is like pretty fine. He could also 4-bet this hand as a bluff. Big size in here because we are deeper. But yeah, I tend to not adjust my ranges too much. I mean, some people say you should take more flops in these situations, but he does adjust his size. So yeah, I didn't change my strategy too much. Like I'm not a huge fan of putting in a lot of money with bad hands. This is a personal level. But like if he had just gone like 5x or something, I guess I could start calling. Remember to open 2.5. I kind of like 1/3 here. And this is a spot where you can size up as well. Potential recreational. But not sure yet. Excuse me. We're still range checking like a peasant here. Yeah, this is a spot I could have like a betting range for small. I think on this board I'm still going to use 1/3. You could have a betting range here or a bigger side. I'm not sure it's going to be better. I'm going to block. I think sizing up is okay on this river. That's a clear value bet. There you go, big. It's probably 70% in theory. I have some notes of this guy. Nothing giving me too much of an idea of what his strategy would be in that spot. This, I'm guessing this guy is like a Brazilian poker player or something. Let's see if, I'm not sure like what this line is. I think this is just like a bluff in line, but the problem is, so he's repping 5x here. He raises very quickly. But he's like repping 5x here, I'd say more than anything else. Actually, he can even value raise like an ace. Possibly. This is a big 4-bet. I'm not going to do anything against that. Out of position. Gets this size, we fold, checking the flop. Excuse me. So I have notes about this guy, any reads I can get on him about overbet. I think this is more likely to be strong than weak. I'm just considering if I should hero fold this hand. I think I'm gonna fold actually. Double flush draw. I'm not sure. I don't think this is like a fold in theory, just like seeing how this guy has played like value in the past, like with the overbet size and even going quite thin for value. To me, it's just kind of more of an indication that he's strong. And like then we're facing 150 turn in that spot, and we have like our entire range there. From my perspective, like we can just fold that hand. I think our hand is probably indifferent in theory, so I'm just going to get rid of it based on that line that he took. Exclusively based on the line that he took. Like against a normal player, most players I'd probably just call every time and see what happens on the river, because there's a good chance he just has a flush draw and gives up the river as well. Is that Emma Watson? Could start betting on the turn. I'm actually gonna double check. I don't mind building the pot now because people tend to not bluff these spots a lot multi-way. Yeah. So gonna be a fold, I guess. Might as well. I think I just chop with value here. Jack X should be in the value betting range quite a lot here. Trapping that hand multi-way. Interesting. Decides to go for like a delayed bet, but we face the pot. So we're folding. Wow, this 4-bet size. I think I just gonna fold here. If Ace Jack suited, I think Ace Queen suited would be like the best hand I'd consider putting in. There's no point in even calling 4-bets that are that big when out of position. And basically pot committed regardless, so I might as well just ditch my hand pre-flop. I would check, see if we can get some bluffs going. Okay, we got pot. Pot is promising. Check. My hand worth value bet. It could be like 10x, but I'd say my hand's on the cusp of a value bet in theory, and I think it's like better 10x here a lot. Gives up a good bluffing hand. Excuse me, as I slowly die. Okay. He can have boats here. I'm not going to lead the river there. Aggression. This board, backdoor flush. Doesn't have a backdoor straight, but 2 overs is pretty good. It's all by this hand. In theory, you'd mix this hand, I guess. You'd like put it in both ranges, better check, depending on the sizing you want. This kind of hand, I guess we're just gonna fold. Yeah. They're gonna like mainly call gut shots, I guess, and like better backdoor hands. No, we have a strategy there. It's actually pretty close in theory, I'd imagine, thinking about it. I'm just going to build a pot here. Double flush. We're going to have like top of range though, but like just half pot, I feel pretty confident. %. We've a gut shot. An over, we call. I'm just gonna realise my equity in these spots. Often these are like you're generally not gonna bluff off like these jacks and tens stuff, and then also it can be like king x traps. So we just realise our equity. And yeah, this is probably like jacks or kings or ace king or something. We have nothing, so we're folding, so we wouldn't bluffing against this sizing. We have lines on this guy. Doesn't have much info on him, but like this 1/3 is we're always gonna call. I think our hand here is like pretty close to indifferent. Ace 8, 1/3. Easy spot to have way too many bluffs in, but like I think this line should work quite nicely as like an overbluff spot. Should be capped range. 4-bet this hand as a bluff. We're actually deeper here, so we should have gone a little bigger, just to stop him from floating as wide. We should have probably gone 24 big blinds instead of 20. But that's fine, it's not really a big mistake. He's probably still folding a decent amount. There's a fish in the blind here. Toby Taxi. Do I want to raise 5-4 suit? It doesn't feel like... I think I'll still raise it. It feels like it's not... It's only profitable if there's because of the fish. I think this hand is like literally on the cusp of being a call. Like it's literally like... I think it's good enough, I guess, with the backdoor hearts and the overcard. Now if it's ace 7 off, ace 6 off, there's a snap course, and ace 10 off, there's a snap course, but ace 8, ace 9 is like, kind of like towards the realms of indifference. I guess I'll just overcall. Got a raising range here, this deep. We know he can't have the nuts. He sizes down. I'd have to follow through on the river. I typically just call. I'm gonna bluff any size under 70%. He's tanking. Well, we know he doesn't have the nuts, but I don't like to bluff versus size because I don't have a huge amount of fold equity. So into the muck you go. This hand can mix between raise and call. Don't have... Oh, this guy is very loose pre-flop. Based on how loose he is, I'm going to start raising. Although if he has 3-bet flop strategies, I'd probably rather not do this. But like he's opening the button 6-2 suited, so we should definitely be looking to 3-bet him more. Range bet, check raise, small size. We have notes on this guy. On this board, I prefer just checking because I want to bet like I can bet this hand, but I generally want to be a bit more polar. There's not much to get value from in this spot, realistically. I'm just thinking, can I bet tiny here? Like this size? Nah, let's just check. Oh yeah, there's 6 of diamonds. So there's like the one. Those are like the few combos that I could really put into a tough spot. I'm not gonna bet multi-way. I'm gonna bet range. Against the recreational, we're just gonna like bet this size. Am I gonna fold ace high here? Probably not, but I could maybe fold king high, so I guess I'll go for it. Oh, okay, well, nice hand. It's not a hand that you have to try and win. I just like trying to win as many hands as possible, but I didn't have to try and win that hand. Everyone is deep in this spot. I don't think I want to change my size though. Small, we're just gonna call. could use small flop. Obviously continuing. Again here I could use a big size, I can use a check. I'm just wondering, it's unlikely he bluffs, but I think I can get value on the turn, so I go big. I can definitely just check the river. I call this. I don't like to fold top pair, but I haven't looked at these notes. I think I should. I'm gonna fold the turn in the future, and then I'd be right. Like he used an overbet strategy, but it was a slightly different board, and he just did that. So like this bet 25, 66 check, ace 3 offsuit airball on this queen 9 jack thing. But I guess that's probably more the sizing you want to use in theory in that spot. And his is just like and here it's just queen jack 5, so it's not a straight kind of board. He's 25, 150, queen jack 5, 7, 3. So like these are very similar boards, but they're not the same. So it is double Broadway, but as a straight. So like it's just a good note. Like so he's obviously like looking at his strategy. If the texture isn't changing, he's using overbet, and if it doesn't really change in the other hand either. So he could have still overbet in the other hand, but he just had an airball. And he's bluffing a turn with like random airballs as well, which is interesting. How long have we gone for? 30 minutes is probably about a good length. Plus I am about to throw up, so yeah. Yeah, we'll give the video an ending right there. Bit of fun for everybody to take away with. My kind of conclusion on the session is it's nice to call to people. Yeah, and don't always read too hard into lines. Just learn as much as you can and play to your strategy, because I'm usually every hand I'm playing a strategy on, but I will make when decisions are when I am indifferent in spots. Like I think here's probably meant to be an indifferent decision, but like there was the other hand where I had the queen 5 on the ace queen turn BVB, and I faced a 150 line. I decided to hero fold. That spot could be indifferent, and I'm probably going to solve it and have a look right now. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good day, and peace to all.